Well, grand risings, everybody. This is Mystical Ariel here to shake the matrix, expand our minds, and make us all think. How are you guys doing this beautiful morning? Well, it's been a little bit since we've had some lessons on here, and now we got something coming up. So we want to talk about the body as a temple, all right? So take a breath with me, though. Let's get into this. Slowly and hold. And release. In. And hold. And release. Do it again and let your shoulders relax. Let your jaw unclench. And let your body know that it is safe enough to be here right now. Because this morning, we're going to take you deeper. We are going into the teaching that, many of us people try to avoid and skip. And many people, want consciousness without body. But let me tell you, awakening without embodiment, spirituality without nerves, truth without sensation, but that is not the path the body takes today. See, today we want to talk about the body as a temple. Today we want to talk about consciousness not as something floating above you, but as something that awakes through you in your breath, in your heartbeat, in your posture, in your nervous system, in your cells, and in your tension, and in your release. See, your flesh, in your presence, this is not about escaping the body. This is about remembering what the body is for. The body's not the enemy. It's not. And let me start with something simple. The body is not the enemy, and your body is not the obstacle. And your body is not the problem. Your body is not separate from your awakening. Your body is the place where awakening is lived in form. And that changes everything, because so many people are trying to heal only the mind and heart and soul, and they're forgetting the body. They are trying to think their way free, and they are trying to understand their way into peace. And they are trying to spiritually bypass what their body is still carrying. But consciousness does not only live in that ideas. It lives in form. And the body is form. The body is the temple, and the body is the vessel. And the body is the sacred ground where spiritual becomes visible. And if you do not understand the body, you will misunderstand the path. If you treat the body like a prison, you will fight the very thing that is trying to help you remember. And the body is not here to trap you. It is here to translate truth. The mistake of disembodied spirituality is that a lot of people have been taught that the goal of spirituality is to rise above the body, to transcend it, to ignore it, to deny it, to discipline it until it stops making noise. But that is not the same thing as awakening. That is so often just disconnection. You cannot bypass the body and call it freedom. Because if the body is still holding grief, the body is still bracing. If the body is still fight or flight, the body still believes it is unsafe. And then the spirit may be speaking, but the body is not yet listening. And that matters. Because a fully awakened life is not just high thoughts. It is coherent state. And it is a state of mind where mind, heart, and body are no longer at war. This is embodiment. That is the temple consciousness. That is what we are here to talk about, is the body remembers. Now, let's go deeper, for instance. See, the body remembers what the mind forgets. And that is the one important truth that I have ever learned. I can tell, you can tell yourself you're fine. and your body's going to let you know the truth. You can talk about the pain and you can spiritualize the wound, but you can say you've moved on, but it will, if your body still tightens when a certain person calls, if your shoulders still rise when tension enters the room, if your gut still drops when you feel rejection, if your jaw still locks when you need to speak truth, then the body is saying something the mind is not fully hearing yet. And the body remembers. It remembers trauma, it remembers fear, and it remembers what was not safe. And it remembers what had to be hidden. And it remembers what had to be swallowed. And it remembers what was too much too soon. And it remembers what you survived. And that is why healing is not just insight. Healing is embodiment. Healing is the nervous system regulation. Healing is learning how to feel safe enough to be present. Healing is allowing the body to finally realize that it is no longer in the old story. And science and nervous system. Now, let me bring you into science. Your nervous system is constantly reading the environment. You know, it's trying to keep you alive, for instance. And that means that a lot of your responses are not random. They are adaptive. They come from the body's memories of what once protected you. Fight, flight, freeze, fawn. And these are not character flaws at all. They are survival strategies, and they are the intelligence of the body once had to do what it needed to do to survive and what it could not control. But the body cannot tell the way the mind wants it to. So when something resembles the old wound, the body may respond as if the old wound is happening again, and even if the danger is gone. Trust me, I've been going through this. I had to get in line with my body and soul and mind. You know, even if the present is not the past, that is why regulation matters. That is why breath matters. That is why posture matters. It is why slowing down matters. Because the body cannot be built into peace. It has to be invited into it. And when the nervous system begins to regulate, something beautiful happens. The body opens. The breath deepens and the mind clarifies and the heart softens and awareness expands. And that is consciousness becoming embodied. That is the temple coming online, the breath as the doorway. Let's talk about this breath. Breath is one of the greatest bridges between consciousness and body. You can be lost in thought. You can be caught up in fear. You can be spun out of the story, and then one breath can bring you right back. And I'll do that in anywhere. If I start to feel disturbed in public, I just go, you're safe, body. You're okay. So that one breath brings you back. Not because breath is magic, but because breath is the doorway between awareness and form. And when the breath is shallow, the body often believes it is still in danger. And when the breath deepens, the body begins to realize that air is maybe space again. And try this now with me, okay? Just try it. Take a breath in slowly. Hold it. Let go. And again. And release. Feel what's changed. That breath tells the body something the words often cannot. It says you are here. You are now. You are not trapped in the previous moment. You do not have to stay braced forever. That is a sacred instruction. And if you practice it enough, the body begins to trust presence again. The body is a temple in ancient wisdom. Now, let's go into the ancient wisdom. Many traditions understood that the body is sacred. The disposable, not disposable, not evil, not meaningless, sacred. The body was often seen as a vessel, a holy place, a living temple. And that means the body is not separate from the divine. It is the one of the places the divine becomes known. In the tribal life, the body was not abstract. It was a rhythm with the land. It was with the weather. It was with the cycles of the day and night, with the seasons, with ceremony, with movement, with music, with story, with direct participation in life. And the body knew where it belonged. Modern life often pulls the body out of rhythm. It puts the body in boxes. It makes the body sit too long. It makes the body carry stress without release. It makes the body ignore signals, and it makes the body perform suffering quietly underneath. And then people wonder why they feel disconnected. The body was never meant to live that way. It was meant to be in relationship with life. The body is not a machine. The body is a living expression of consciousness. See, the Gnostics, the spark matters. I'm bringing Gnosis truth as the Gnostics understood that the divine spark exists within the human being, not only in heaven, not only in spirit, but with the human being experiencing itself. And that means the body is not a mistake. The body is the place where the spark learns to know itself in the matter. And that is profound, guys, because it means your life your life in a body is not downgraded. It is not punishment. It is not exile. It is a field of revelation. The spark of the did not leave the source and become less of itself. It entered form so it could remember itself through form. And that means your body is not beneath the spirit. Your body is one of the places your spirit becomes real. And when you begin to live from that understanding, everything changes. You stop hating the body. You stop treating it like a problem to solve. And you start listening. You start honoring. And you start cooperating with the temple instead of cursing it. The temple needs care. The temple is not neglected. A temple is tended. A temple is honored. A temple is cleaned. A temple is listened to. A temple is maintained. And your body, dude, is no different. The body needs rest. The body needs nourishment. The body needs movement. The body needs breath. The body needs stillness. The body needs water. The body needs touch. The body needs boundaries. The body needs safety, and the body needs consistency. And when the body is not given what it needs, it tells the truth through symptoms, through exhaustion, through tension, through pain, through fatigue, through anxiety, through disconnection, through numbness, through overwhelm. That is not the body betraying you. That is the body asking for your attention. Your body is speaking. And if you are wise, you will listen. See, embodiment, psychology tells us that an unprocessed experience often lives in the body. And that means your emotions are not just abstract feelings. They are physiological events. They are state changes. They are entire nervous system responses. And when emotions are not processed, they do not just disappear. They can settle into the body as cell memory, tensions guarding pain, shut down, or reactivity. And this is why embodiment is so important. It is not just about feeling your feelings. It is about allowing the body to complete what it could not complete before. It is about letting the system discharge what it has been carrying. It is about helping the body learn that the threat is not happening now. The body defense does not need to run with this moment. That body can soften without losing its power. This is mature consciousness, not disassociation, not avoidance, not bypass, embodiment. And the body and presence is felt in the body. And you can tell when someone is present, they are here, not just mentally, not just spiritually, they are here. Their words land differently. Their eyes are different. Their energy is different. Their breathing is different. Their pace is different. They are not split. themselves. That is what that embodiment creates. It creates presence, and presence changes everything. Presence changes how you listen. Presence changes how you respond. Presence changes how you love. Presence changes how you hold pain. Presence changes how you speak truth. Presence changes how you walk into a room. When a person is embodied, the room feels it. People feel calmer. Strangers feel safer. Conversations become more real. That is not personality alone. That is coherence. That is the temple becoming inhabited. Nature knows the body, and nature never acts like the body is a mistake. Nature is embodiment. The tree grows from the ground, and the river follows the land. And the animal moves according to instinct, and the earth itself is alive with rhythm, relationship, and there is nothing shameful to an embodiment in nature. Everything expresses itself through form. Everything is in motion. Everything is physical and spiritual at once. The tree does not apologize for being rooted, and the deer does not apologize for being sensitive. The ocean does not apologize for moving, and nature teaches us that form is not the enemy of spirit. Form is the experience of spirit, and body is the part of the same intelligence, not separate from it, not lesser than it, a living manifestation of it. Your body is a translator. Think of your body as a translator. Consciousness becomes sensation. Sensation becomes feeling, and feeling becomes movement, and movement becomes behavior, and behavior becomes life. And that means your body is not holding you up. Your body is not just holding you up, it is helping consciousness speak. If you ignore the body, you miss part of the message. If you listen to the body, you will begin to hear what consciousness has been trying to show you this whole time. A tight chest means grief. A clenched jaw means suppressed truth. A heavy stomach means dread. A buzzing body means overstimulation. A collapsed posture may mean resignation. A restless body may mean unexpressed energy, and the body is always speaking, you guys. The question is whether you are listening enough to hear it. The temple is your inner authority. And when you treat the body as a temple, you begin to reclaim your inner authority, because you stop outsourcing the truth to everybody else. You stop waiting for the world to tell you how you feel, and you stop ignoring your own signal in order to fit into what others expect, and you stop betraying the body to keep the peace. And that is a huge awakening. Because a lot of people living in constant state of self-abandonment, they ignore exhaustion, they override intuition, and they override discomfort, and they override boundaries, and they override truth. And when they wonder why life feels hollow, but when the temple is honored, something sacred returns. You begin to trust your own signal. You begin to sense what aligned and what is not. And you begin to make decisions from the wisdom of the body, not just demands of the mind. And that is embodiment. That is sovereignty. That is consciousness living through form. The body is a spiritual practice. So how do you actually live this? Not by trying harder. Not by controlling yourself more, not by shaming yourself into a better behavior. You live it by practicing presence, by breathing, by slowing down, by moving your body, by resting when you need rest, by feeling without drowning, and by listening without rushing ground. And by giving the body what it has been asking for. This is spiritual practice, not just prayer. In abstract, not just ideas about awakening, embodiment, devotion, real presence. A living temple. And you can meditate and still be disconnected from your body if you are not careful. You can have spiritual language and still be living in nervous system survival. And you can speak truth, still be bracing for impact inside. So the work is not appear spiritually. The work is to become available reality through the body. And the difference between escape and integration is there is a difference between escape and integration. Escape says, I do not want to feel this. I don't want to be, this body, and I don't want to deal with this pain. I want out. Integration says, I can feel. I can be here. I can feel this. I can listen. I can soften, and I can become more whole through presence. And that is the pain. Not escape, not integration, not rejection of the body. Reverence. For it's not domination, it's listening. Not disassociation, embodiment. And when you make that shift, the body starts to trust you more. And it starts to unclench. It starts to settle. And it starts to remember safety. And that is how the temple is restored. Power on. One of the most beautiful things you'll start to notice is that the world feels different when the body is safer. And the same conversations does not hit it the same way. The same challenges does not ruin your whole day. And the same person does not have the same power over you. The same fear does not dominate everything. You are more capable of staying with yourself, more capable of choosing well, more capable of clearly seeing clearly. That is not because life got easier. It's because your temple is more coherent. The body is no longer constantly screaming in the background. The signal is clear. The spirit has more room to move, and that is power. True power. Not force, not image, not performance, just presence. See, the temple is where the divine feels you. And here's something very important. You do not only feel the divine in your body, the divine feels you through the body. And that is a part of the mystery. The temple is not just where you go to find God. The temple is where God becomes consciousness through your life. Your breath is part of that. Your heart is part of that, and your tears are part of that, and your laughter is part of that, and your trembling is part of that, and your presence is part of that, and your movement is part of that, and your stillness is part of that. The body becomes the place where the invisible become known. That is holy, and that is not something to dismiss, and that is not small. That is the miracle. So come back to the temple, because the body is not your prison. The body is your temple. The body is not your enemy. The body is your ally. And the body is not beneath your awakening. The body is the place where your awakening becomes real. The body remembers, and the body holds truth, and the body wants safety, and the body wants rhythm. The body wants coherence, and the body wants to be inhabited by consciousness without fear. And consciousness is not here to escape the body. It is here to wake up inside. So breathe. Feel your hands and your feet, and feel your heartbeat. Feel the life inside of you. Not as an idea, but as a presence, as truth. And let that be enough for today. You do not need to become what you already are. You only need to stop abandoning the temple that has been carrying you all along. Peace and love. See you guys next time.